You have photo of the records who were holding your captain prisoner to rescue him, and you have returned to Isla Tortuga, where you hope to enjoy a well-deserved rest in the tavern. And perhaps, why not, seek out Don Francisco Carranza for some fencing lessons, so much needed. In the doorway, you bump into a drunken thug, armed to the teeth. "By Jove, you blind rat! Watch out where you're going. If you don't want me to stitch you up like up in the sails, you meant be careful." Well, there goes your break, and it looks like fencing practice is starting definitely early. So let's take a tour through Skull Tales Full Sail. Welcome to Skull Tales Full Sail, the pirate life simulator. There are 3 games included in one, in which 1 to 5 players take on the roles of pirates and trying to go through different adventures and trying to sail the seas and get rich along the way. What you're going to do in this game, you're going to explore islands and choose your fate. Boarding, looting, trading, protecting the weak, making friends, fulfilling missions, and so on. There are so many adventures to be discovered. You have to sail the Caribbean, facing dangers, but of course also mutinies, because, after all, you're a pirate. Walk through the streets of Tortuga, and you will meet there a lot of characters that they will teach you their skills. You have 20 different pirates to choose from, so think wise and decide what fits best for your role and your adventures. An exciting narrative story in which your character grows in skills and equipment along the campaign. Shadows of Caribbean is a core campaign of the game, which has 10 stories, and they all have interesting things for you to decide. So you have to cooperate with your crew, although only one can be the captain. So players are going to be trying to achieve the same goal, trying to get rich along the way, and trying to become captains for themselves. You don't need a game director, you don't need a DM. You can play without anyone, using the different components of the game and guide you through the story. The game can also be played excellently as a solo. So let's see more details about the phases of the game and how the game evolves. So let's focus on the game phases. In the Skull Tales Full Sail box, you'll find 3 games in one. Essentially, that makes up for the perfect pirate life simulator. The game can be played in all aspects of the adventure. It's like you don't have just a portion of the adventure. You have the sail, you have the port phase, you have the voyage itself, you can explore streets, etc. But let's start with the adventure phase, which is the first. In the adventure phase, you will explore islands in search of clues, of characters, different things that you're chasing, gossips over the course of the campaign that you have and over the course of your adventure. Your characters will use items and their skills. They're going to face enemies, and they're going to have to face fantastic creatures, monsters, and you name it. On the map, you'll see that everything that you do, all the changes that you'll do, they're going to progress you one step towards exploring more the game. After that, we follow with the port phase. In the port phase, in between adventures, you'll rest in Tortuga, a city full of interesting locations and NPCs, essentially non-player characters. That they will give you crucial information. You'll visit them, you may get new gear, you may hire allies, and after all, you'll try to do anything you want to do that will achieve you the role of gaining the captainship of your ship. You'll have different guild assignments, you're going to improve your ship, and all these activities are time consuming, and you only have a limited amount of time before you have to set sail again, or you will waste your time doing nothing important. So you have to plan very, very carefully around it, and that's really important. The third phase of the game is Voyage phase. In the Voyage phase, you must sail the Caribbean in search of the next story point. Each pirate takes a station on the ship, either on the helm, on the sails, or spotting from the crow's nest. Everyone contributes to the effort, but there is only one captain who has the final say. But beware, if a character gains enough prestige among the crew, they may cause a mutiny and take over captaincy. So you have to be careful. Now let's take a closer look on the crew. You choose your pirate and you have 12 characters in the core box, each with a very, very unique personality, game style, equipment and skills. You have the gunner, for example, with his formidable physical strength, always useful. You have the surgeon, which is keen in intelligence and is very useful for skills that require intelligence. You have the voodoo shaman, which you can admit that it's something really cool, and he has access to dark magic. You have the cutthroat with her two swords, always useful, the more the merrier. And you have additional characters, but you get the idea. With the base game you get 12 characters, plus you can have more from the expansions, all with unique perks, gear, personalities, and different things to explore. So the options essentially are a lot here. Now, let's talk about the narrative content. You have multiple endings in Skull Tales. Skull Tales Full Sail is more than a game. It's an adventure, and it's intended to be played more times than just once. And you can have a different arc by different chosen sections that guide you in different directions, therefore you can enjoy different endings. Skull Tales is really replayable and has a lot of different options to offer, even for repeated campaigns. You'll face new stories that unfold based on your actions and decisions with different and multiple endings. You must overcome the challenge posed by each chapter of the campaign in order to advance to the next one with varying degrees of success. The replayability here is ensured with a combination of characters, allies, different events, and all the different things that you're going to discover through the adventures. Also your choices. What you choose may direct you in one or another ending. In Shadows of Caribbean, the Brotherhood of the Coast sends you in search for Captain John's diary to find his treasure. You're going to start the adventure by trying to find more about the clues that he has left behind and his legendary treasures. In Legends of Caribbean, 4 letters sent by a dead pirate to his comrades point to an island containing a treasure map divided into 4 parts. That's also another interesting adventure to follow and discover. The Devil's Cauldron, it's another one that takes you on the quest for nothing less than the search for El Dorado. How cool is that? The myth comes into opportunity, so you can try to discover the remains of El Dorado, the magical El Dorado. In Tlan Hana's Anger, you'll search for a missing captain and face the wrath of the sirens. That's a completely different adventure in terms of style, in terms of flow, in terms of story, and so on. And there are more campaigns such as the Vane's Curse or the Story Weaver, which are available for players to discover. In all, there are several adventures that you can play individually or as an ending after a shipwreck, as well as the possibility to create any adventure based on the Caribbean of the Skull Tales universe, which essentially makes the game infinitely replayable in my opinion and gives a lot of value. Now let's take a moment to talk about equipment and skills in the game. The Pirate of Skull Tales find legendary relics among the treasures of their adventures. There are so many things to be discovered. They can also get new gear in the Market of Tortuga. That's always an option. The island that houses the headquarters of the Brotherhood of the Coast and where you will be able to find your base of operations. That's always the center of attention for our pirates and our adventurers. The island is living environment, means that there are events that will take place each and every time you visit one of its locations. And that creates a very realistic, if you want, approach to the game, as if you're playing a real pirate game in a pirate movie. Its characters will give you quests and teach you skills, and if you have enough time and gold, you'll gain all the rewards that you can possibly imagine. Pirate skills are divided into several branches of specialization. You will process faster all the different skills and challenges. You'll progress more if you're able to find more branches and more specialization for your characters. But you can choose other options to customize your pirate too. And essentially, you can also switch direction through the course of the game, through the course of the campaign, and gain more skills as needed by what you're trying to achieve. Lastly, I want to take a moment to talk about the game engine itself. One of the keys to the fun of the Skull Tales Full Sail is that you can really try different things. You don't need a player to control the enemies, and no one needs to make the, let's say, the dungeon master. Each enemy has different behavior and special abilities. A die roll will determine what each and every enemy does. For example, a redcoat will approach to attack the pirates unless he's already fighting in melee. And therefore, players can really enjoy having first role in all of the adventures. No one needs to do the, let's say, admin or bookkeeping of the game. Now, let's talk about new expansions and the mega expansion. Keep in mind that this is the second edition of the game, and it also comes with both a reprint of the original material, but also new expansions. And in this campaign, you'll find several expansions to enrich your gaming experience. I'm looking forward to try everything else as well. Whether you already own your previous edition or you're just discovering Skull Tales, this is the place to get more content and more adventures. In addition to the reprint of the core game, there are some expansions that you can use into the mix, and I will help you find more in this campaign, meaning that you can have more adventures, even whole campaigns added, additional events, voyage events, and so on, as well as plastic miniatures and more stuff. So let's start with the first one, which is the Curse of Caribbean. The two intervened campaigns, these are two new intervened campaigns that be rephrased. So you can play them in any order, and an epilogue ties them together. How cool is that? This is really interesting because now you have two new campaigns, and also the two new campaigns, if you play one after the other, you'll see that they are connected. You can play them in any order, and the epilogue that will bring them together will tell you more about the story. The miniatures. There are more powerful enemies using the old miniatures, or if the stretch goals in this campaign allow, there will be additional 21 new miniatures. So the campaign is in full swing. That means more things can be unlocked, so it is a blessing. There is the Oh Captain, My Captain and Han Solo. I was really looking forward for that because the solo is really nice and I've played the game solo as well. But here we have a Han Solo gameplay with ally jobs and strategies for the allies. The islands now have trading posts, so you can do more trading. Trade contraband and transport passengers in the voyage phase, where you can move people around and have like side missions in the voyage phase, or focus on side missions that they will award you more stuff, which is cool. Another expansion you can have is Tortuga. You can use this expansion to diversify your games even more. You can find new things in this expansion, like for example, new voyage events. You can find more assignments that are available, and yes, there are new rumors for the port phase, which makes it even more rich and even more engaging. And of course, adding additional replayability, as you can imagine. There are also the sea miniatures. I really like the sea miniatures. These are really, if you observe the renders, you see really detailed miniatures with nice, I should say, 3D element and immersion, so they're eye candy. You have Legends of the Caribbean. The mega expansion is now called Legends of the Caribbean, but it's still just a mega as it was before, so there are new characters, there are 42 miniatures, there are cards and equipment and added value and more gameplay in this, let's say, big box expansion, if you wish. In addition, the mega expansion provides more stories and more adventures to discover. There are 12 replayable characters, there are miniature cards and equipment that go together with them, and that makes more options for players to select. There are also additional enemies, like Amazons, mermaids, bounty hunters, or even giant tarantula. Yeah, giant tarantula. How cool is that? The adventures can take us anywhere, literally. So the 4 new campaigns, which you can play a sequence, are there, and these are new legendary essential expansions, new legendary treasures. There are also terrain tiles, tokens, and different content to support those campaigns and give more value. So if you like the game, there's more. The game has a lot of replayability, but it offers even more content, and that's really cool in a great game system. Another expansion is Pirates. You get the characters from the previous Epic crowdfunding campaign, you get miniatures, cards, and the respective equipment, and you add competitive PvP mode to the Skull Tales Full Sail. So now that's an interesting addition, because you can play player versus player, which is really cool. The dynamic duo, the twins, the noble rebel and her war dog. You can enjoy all those in the campaign, in the session, and as PvP, player versus player as well. There is the loot and plunder, where there is competitive mode, including the cards and components to face other players in PvP scenarios with the characters from everything that has been already included in the core game, Legends of the Caribbean and Pirates itself. That means that this expansion adds not just an additional game mode, it adds more gameplay, I should say, and more value into the game system or the universe of Skull Tales. So really looking for that as well, and I have to admit that all of them together, they bring a lot of content and a lot of new things to discover. So there you have it. So I would close by saying that if you like pirate games, if you like adventure games, this is a game that you should definitely check it out. When I've seen it way back in the past, I was immediately gravitated, I was attracted by it because it has the prospect of having 3 games in there. It's exactly what it's advertised. You have, you know, the exploration phase, you can go in the seas, you can go into the different adventures, you like zoom in, you know, you can travel with your pirate vessel, you need to board the different and man the different stations for it to work. You can travel around the seas, you can encounter different creatures and pirates and you name it. You can then disembark on the coast and discover treasure and dig out and then follow stories and rumor. And then you have the port phase where you go like in a busy port, essentially Tortuga, and you do trade, you upgrade your things and you get more stuff. So for once, I would say that this game, for me at least, it gives me the feeling of not just playing a portion of an adventure. You know, when we're trying to play different games and we are like, I don't know, paladins, architects, wizards, it's like we zoom in a particular aspect of a story and we play, let's say, a scene, a chapter, you know, a specific thing in mind. With this game, it's like you take a step backwards and you enjoy the full movie, the full book, the full novel, the full story, because you have the traveling, you have the exploration, you have the adventures, you zoom in and you just open tiles and then you see how is the city or the village that you attack or where the body is buried, and then you go back to the voyage, to the port phase where you're going to upgrade your skills. You can buy new things, you can visit different key things in the town and interact with them and have different events. So altogether, it's like a living game which is consisted of different robust, structured pillars, I should say, with substantially different gameplay that they all add together thematically nice and they give a great adventure. So if you don't know Skull Tales, you should definitely check it out. If you like pirate games like me, you should definitely check it out. I hope you enjoyed a bit more about information about the story of the campaign, the content of the campaign and what it is. So hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next time, many thanks for watching.